Hey everybody.
Hey y'all.
So sorry. Everything's been going fine here except for this heat, and my computer is very sluggish. So I ended up having to reboot it, which usually lately, since I uploaded Windows 11, has been going so smooth. But of course, when you want it to go smooth, it won't. So basically, but we are here now. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Oh, I said I'm AJ from AJ's Angela from AJ's Personal Touch, and I
And I'm
think
Kaylin from
okay, you're not in mute anymore. Okay. And as you come in, let us know what's on your hook, what's in your drink. I have some, what do I have in here? Some ice, cold brewed iced tea, which I think is blackberry and hibiscus. So, yeah, it hasn't rained here yet. It rained all of 2 minutes yesterday, and it has not rained again since then.
well, it rained all of 5 minutes just now, and we had lots of thunder for about 10 minutes, and that was
Yeah,
it.
we had a ton of thunder before. It rained for like 2 minutes, and then we had some thunder after, and then we have not had a drop since. So I've been making sure that I take care of my plants. I woke up today thinking that I was so sick, but it turns out my glands are huge, but I'm not sick. So I think it's from the heat.
Probably.
So hello, Fiber Fox Studios. Oh, working out. I couldn't even think of working out in this heat.
Can and pickles.
Canning pickles and cleaning, it must have cooled off because I know how hot you were yesterday. I could not imagine canning pickles. I
And I,
guess unless you don't need to steam it closed. Oh, and then there's pots these days that you can put it in and it you don't get the heat from it. I forgot. Okay. Check something real quick and then we can get started. Sorry, you're going to hear my YouTube go through real quick. There we go. Glad I checked it because it was not on to get everybody's chat. It was on top chat. So,
hmm, I already fixed that on my computer.
yeah, well, I was trying to do that earlier and it wouldn't work. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, I need a reboot because I can't get to this to let it do this. Okay,
She
I got.
said it was so hot, or it's so miserable hot here, but I couldn't let the cucumbers ruin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My grandma would have said the same thing. Can't let them get ruined. Okay, I'm gonna see which one of these I like. Ew, no, not that one. It just seems like this one makes us so far back now than it used to. Don't want to do that. Let me play for just a second, everybody. Yeah, guess we're gonna keep it on this one. I am. I don't get it. I have no pop-ups on everything, and then all of a sudden, when I come on to do this, I have a ton of pop-ups that come through. I've never seen pop-ups through in front of my StreamYard before. But that's like my second one since I opened it tonight.
Hmm.
Okay, so anybody crocheting anything? Anybody got anything on your hook?
Good squares.
Ooh. I have stuff over here to make a cat toy if I have time to crochet. Once I'm done moving things and opening things and all of that. And then I finally finished, it's a tiny one, but this little knitted washcloth.
Oh,
The one
cool.
that I had a pattern for, and it's like You go a little bit and it's on the right side, and then it gets turned, and ooh, you got the wrong side there for a bit, and then ooh, you got the right side. Definitely practice.
Yes.
But I got the two ends to weave in. I think it might make a good face one.
Well, while we were going through the technical difficulties, my lights tried to go out like 4 times. Um, so if like all of a sudden I'm dark, it's because my lights went out because I still hear thunder, but it's very distant thunder now.
Oh, I get it. We've been having our lights turn out just because of the heat.
Oh, that's not good.
So, yeah, we've been lucky because they flickered out and come back on. Yesterday it happened, I think, twice. Today I slept most of the day, so I don't know if it happened at all. Bob says no. Um, the day before it happened once or twice. I think the hotter it gets, the more it does it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it is down into quote the 80s, but it still feels like the 90s,
right.
and the humidity is still really high. And Kathy's crocheting a top, so probably the same one as yesterday, I will assume, but I could be wrong.
And Sandra says right now she's too tired, but she might work on something in a bit.
I get that. Okay, so we have been promising you something good tonight. And actually, it's going to be broke up between tonight and the next one because there's just too much. And who knows, we may find more as we keep researching, and it may get even another week. So I know I did write down what all we were going to do tonight, but you know what? I forgot about if we were going to do something or not. So I'm going to have to find my notes here in a minute, but you're going first, so I can do that while you go.
Okay, I'm going to bring up
Well, should
my.
we tell them what we're talking about first?
Yeah, that is true. We should tell them what we're talking about first.
Or if you bring up your first thing, it'll show what we're talking about. But
That is true too.
I didn't write it when I put everything up. But if you noticed, I made a new thumbnail. And I know thumbnails are small, so you would have a hard time. But if you looked at that thumbnail close enough, you might know what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, you might know exactly what we're talking about. We're gonna see if you can guess for a second. Um, Sandra said that she likes surprises, and
That's
Kathy did
good.
say yes, it was the same top that she's been crocheting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. So anyone want to guess what we're talking about tonight?
My guess is black and white cat.
Bob's guess is black and white cats.
That would be awesome, especially with Kahlua behind you, which she's not at the moment, but that would be awesome.
Oh, I thought a minute ago. Oh, I thought Midnight was back there.
You got tired of waiting. I need to book back up.
He did, huh?
Yeah.
He just decided he had to move, huh? Ha, there we are. I found it.
I don't think anyone's going to try and guess by looking at the thumbnail.
Okay, so we are talking about that ad tonight. Okay.
Oh, crochet for chat. I mean, cats or cat charity. No.
No, we've done that before.
Yeah.
We're trying to still do some new things before going back and doing things that we've done. Nope, not cats.
Cats.
I can talk about cats all day long, though, for those of you who know me.
Yeah.
And especially charity, like Ambi said, because I crochet for a cat charity here so they can make money off of my stuff.
Can't see the thumbnail.
Thumbnail, so yeah, it is kind of small. Well, here, why don't I do this? Why don't I show it to you guys bigger?
Yeah, she's going to do that.
And we'll see if you can figure it out.
Cat yarn.
Bob says cat yarn.
Oh, what the heck? That was so weird.
Like cat made out of, or yarn made out of cat's fur.
Yeah, cat made out of
Ew.
People do that.
I
People
couldn't
do
do that.
that.
I itch. That just makes my itch.
Well, I know they've done it out of dogs. I don't know if anybody's actually done it out of a cat's fur, but I would think if somebody's made it out of dog's fur, somebody has had to have done it out of cat's fur.
Yeah.
Well, Midnight said that they
AJ
were
Kiss.
I don't give it away free. I'll eat it first.
I don't know if I should tell everybody about that. Bob's over there talking, saying what Midnight would be saying. Doesn't give his hair away.
Oh
If
yeah.
I sit down and I comb him or brush him, he actually eats his own hair.
Ew. That's weird.
I said, wait,
Yeah.
if you're gonna pet Midnight, you're gonna pet me. Ah, okay, right.
Huh. I guess open it in photos and hopefully I can show it from photos. Yeah, we had talked about cats and donations way back when you still did the lives with us, Andy. Long time ago.
Yeah. You is a good girl, huh?
So let me see if this will work.
So, yeah, I'm a girl. How good I am.
Share screen.
I said, you'll be gone. You'll be sleep all day, boy. Except when you got stuff outside.
No, I gotta figure out something. It doesn't want to bring up the photo editor. Maybe if I open it in Canva, that'll work. I would think.
Maybe.
I've never had problems with pictures before, and all of a sudden, well, like I said, I just upgraded this to Windows 11, so I've been having little glitches here and there that I don't expect. Okay, so there's that. I didn't think of doing this, or I would have had it ready already. I do apologize.
We're all discombobulated today. It'll be okay.
This heat has had me discombobulated for a while. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Or I can.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because it said that it was blocked. Can you guys still see all of us?
Yeah, we're still on my computer, so has
Okay. I'm like, I sure would hate to be sitting here talking and then have nothing.
yeah, we'd be talking to nobody because we're not even live anymore, something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I guess I should have done it that way. Kathy says, "Yep." I just figured out how to do the others, but since I've already put it on Canva, I'll do it this way. It's going to be bigger this way anyway. Look close to the pictures.
That's not what I'm doing.
Let me do this.
Oh, I got it.
There's one especially that's very telling. Let me see if I can make this even bigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you zoom in on the picture some?
I'm going to see if I can. I don't want to crop anything. I'm going to zoom in. Let me see if I can make it. I don't know if this is going to help or not. Probably not because I can't find my way back to you with what I just did. So that's not good.
No, it's not something great. It's something about how those pictures are of each picture of the cat is something to do with how they are, not the cats themselves, and not black and white.
Okay. What I'm going to do is stop that one. And now that I figured out how to do slides and PDFs, I'm going to go here.
Good job, Courtney.
Yay! So I don't need to pull it back up.
No, you don't. She got it.
If
We're
you look at it sometime, and I can pull it back up later when we're done, the little one down in the bottom has something that we're going to tell you about, which has a way to spot AI.
yes.
And when we get to that part, I'll just tell you that that's what the picture has in it. The other ones, not as much. Although I could have put some on there, like there was one because I wanted a black and white cat holding a yarn ball and a crochet hook. Well, the first program I used would not give me any type of hook. So then I went and I tried the one actually in Canva. And that's the one that gave me the hook. But if you look at closely at them, they are not crochet hooks. They are some weird, weird looking hooks. But half of the pictures that it gave me, like one of them gave me the face of the cat, like on top of the yarn ball. And another one gave me an eye like here and one spewed all the way up here.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to use those because I didn't want to give it away right away. So.
Right.
Okay, so we'll start with, we are talking about AI and specifically AI with crochet and things like that and how to spot it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm on my phone, so I can't do share screen on it. I'm going to see if it'll let me do it from my tablet because that's where I searched for it anyways. So I'm going to enter the studio again, and it should not have echoes. If it does, then I'll just get out of it.
We have been waiting to do this one for a while.
Yes, we have. Okay, turn that off.
And with everything going on between me being sick and Kaylin working so much, we just didn't have time to look it all up.
Oh, no. It's not supposed to hurt. Okay. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I did.
Yes.
It's not supposed to have that because I muted it and I turned the volume down. Let me see if I can find.
It sounded like a fan was working in it or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
If you send me the link, I can open it up and. Although at some point in time, mine will probably stop working. Usually does that when I share stuff lately.
Okay, well, it's not really a link. It was just a Google search.
Okay.
I just wanted to share it instead of just reading it to you. But this is what I found. And all I did was AI and crochet. That was what I searched to
Has
get.
nothing. Sorry, I want to answer Ambi. It has nothing to do with liking it or not. Honestly, no, I'm not a huge lover of it.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Not when it has to do with crochet. Anyway, we find some cute stuff with cats and they're singing and stuff, and that stuff is cutesy.
And like really pretty, really pretty pictures and stuff like that. Beautiful colors, but when you try and find patterns on it, you can't find anything because it's something made up. But what it says right here, it says AI generated crochet is a computer made version of crochet that's created by inputting parameters into your computer and producing an image. While images can look impressive, like I said, pretty colors, they aren't actually crochet, and AI can't accurately write crochet patterns. Some say that AI generated crochet images are used to sell disappointing patterns on Etsy. And here's what to know about AI crochet. And then it goes to say that, the like I said, the images are beautiful, but it's something that is it just cannot be replicated in crochet because it doesn't know how to replicate crochet. So it can't make a pattern of it. They have, it says, often unusual sizes, the vibrant colors, seamless color blends. However, the stitches may be unclear and the patterns may include sections that are difficult to create by hand. And then it says pattern issues. AI generated patterns may contain instructions that don't make sense, which could lead to wasted time and effort. Beginners might get discouraged if their hard work doesn't pan out, thinking that they're no good at crochet. And then it goes to say Etsy scams. Some say that Etsy crochet buyers have reported AI made images being used to sell disappointing patterns. Etsy is taking the situation seriously and closing down accounts. Um, with that, I have come across a couple of videos where someone said that they used an AI image, but she has her own Etsy page. Someone bought her pattern, created an AI image, and then sold her pattern as that photo.
And then they shut down her channel.
You're right.
That's happening to a lot of crochet shops on Etsy, which is one reason why I do not like AI and crochet.
Yes. So, like I said, it's not a link. It's just the general overview of AI whenever I typed in AI in crochet.
Okay.
Now, Antoinette can show what she wants to talk about.
Okay. Mine basically covers a lot of what Kaylin said, but mine is where another YouTuber talked about it, and she's actually one of the bigger YouTubers. And let me find it. Now, I have the link to this article down below, but because there were so many ads and so many pop-ups, I literally was trying to show it to Kaylin last night, when we were trying to look at it, and it would make me keep going up and try and pull it down, and I could never get it to run the way I wanted to. So I took the app where it can make a page into a PDF, and I got rid of all the ads so I could show it to you guys. But I have the link down below so you can go and look at it and support her, you know, and therefore open it up and, with all the ads. I just wanted to explain that first. That's the only reason why I did this, because most of the time I can go through, but this one had so many ads and so many pop-ups, I just couldn't get it to go through.
Yeah, it was tough. And yes, Courtney, it is ruining small businesses. AI is.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can read this from the screen here or not. Probably not. I'm going to have to. Yeah, I got to move it along on the other page anyway. So let me go back to where it is on here. Come on. Okay, so this is how to spot fake AI crochet so you don't get scammed. And this is on EliseRoseCrochet.com. And I actually saw the video. She has a video that she did on this. So how to spot fake AI crochet. It's full of practical tips to help you be able to quickly identify artificially created crochet patterns and images. Plus, we will do a fun little quiz at the end to see if you can see the difference between real crochet and AI. And it is a fun quiz. And the first time that Kaylin and I did it, there was like one or two of them we did not get right.
Yeah. It's
Artificial intelligence has become a big problem in the crochet community. And today I'm going to attempt to make an AI generated crochet pattern, give you some helpful tips and tricks to help you spot them. And finally, we will do a little quiz where we can compare AI versus real patterns to see if you can spot the difference. The reason I decided to make a dedicated post about this topic is that there is a Facebook page that has been popping up a lot on my feed, and 99% of their images are AI. And what I found disturbing is that these posts are getting thousands of likes and comments. I've even scrolled through the comments to see if anyone is calling them out for AI, and I haven't found one yet. My hunch is that there are people commenting that the images are fake, but that the account owner is deleting them and possibly blocking these accounts.
yeah, that's what I think too.
So, how to spot fake AI? This post contains affiliate links and at no cost to you. And well, since I took all that stuff out, this one here was the actual video. How to spot a fake. People are getting scammed out of their money. Unfortunately, there are Etsy accounts that are selling AI generated crochet patterns. This has become such a big problem that news organizations are taking notice. On April 24th, 2024, NBC published an article about it. Etsy crochet buyers say AI made images are being used to sell disappointing patterns. The author stated that Etsy is taking the situation seriously and closing down those accounts. But it seems like it's a bit like the game whack a mole. When they shut one down, another pops up. People are wasting their time. There are websites that are sharing these fake crochet patterns for free, and people are literally wasting their time trying to make these projects. Beginners can doubt their crochet skills because the project does not turn out anything like the photo. Because I'm not the only amigurumi enthusiast who is concerned about this issue. Check out this article from Hooked by Katie. Yes, I've actually seen this article too, and it's what got me wanting to do this tonight. It's just it seemed that Annalise had more in her article than Katie did, but hers is just as good. So go look at Hooked by Katie and look at her article as well. And if I remember, I'll find it and I will post the link um, underneath in the description. Chat GPT generated crochet pattern. My curiosity got the better of me one day and I decided I had to try an AI crochet pattern for myself. I had Chat GPT create a simple crochet pattern for an amigurumi whale. I've made a lot of crochet amigurumi toys in my life, so I should be able to crochet anything this AI tool could throw at me. I also copied and pasted the entire pattern into the image generator to give me an image of what the pattern would look like when it was completed. I was very happy when it gave me this image and these comforting words. Actually, I think this is back to Annalise's her article. Here's the image of the amigurumi whale based on the crochet pattern you provided. I hope this visual represent matches what you envisioned for your project. If there's anything you'd like to adjust or add, feel free to let me know. Chat GPT. So this is the image she got. I mean, heck, if I saw the image, I'd be like, wow, yes, we're on the right track, right?
Right.
Initially, I was impressed by the directions. They were written in a way that would be familiar to experienced crochet toy makers. Instructions. Body. Start with a magic ring. Round 1. 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Round 2. Increase in each stitch around. Round 3. Single crochet, increase around. And so on and so forth on that part. And they start in the decreases. And then to cut it off and leave a long tail. Wow, my brain just would not say what FO means right now.
Finished off
Fasten off.
or fasten off. Yeah.
The only problem that I saw with this step was that the directions for where to place the eyes wasn't within the portion of the pattern for the body. It was way down at the bottom of the pattern. It also didn't share which size safety eyes to use. I used my best judgment and went with 6 millimeter eyes. Problems with AI crochet patterns. The problem started with the tail directions. Tail. Using the same yarn color, attach yarn to the back of the body. Row 1, chain 4, starting from the second chain from the hook, single crochet in each chain. Chain 1, turn, single crochet across. Chain 1, turn, increase in each stitch. Chain 1, turn, single crochet across. Turn 1, single crochet, increase twice, single crochet. Chain 1, turn, single crochet across, chain 1, turn, single crochet, decrease twice, single crochet. Chain 1, turn, single crochet across, chain 1, turn, decrease, single crochet, decrease. Fasten off and leave a tail for sewing. Sew the tail onto the body. There was a problem with rows 5, 7, and 9. The pattern was incorrect, and I had to adjust my stitches to get the correct stitch count. But that was just the beginning of the problems. There were errors with the fin as well, and the strangest part were these two conflicting directions. Using the same yarn color, attach yarn to the side of the body, which is, what does this even mean? Fasten up and leave a tail for sewing. Sew the fin onto the top of the body. I don't know about you, but I didn't see a fin on top of the whale's body in the image. Plus, I'm pretty sure whales don't even have fins there. But who am I to correct a fancy schmancy AI chatbot? So I proceeded to make the pattern to the best of my ability, and this is what I ended up with. You guys ready for a good laugh?
It's hilarious.
There's the front of it. There's what she was told it would look like. So there's the front. And there's the side. I don't know about you, but if I got that, I'd be crying. The other thing I saw wrong myself with the pattern is it didn't tell you where to place them on the body. It just said at the top or on the body, but not exactly where. Where most good amigurumi pattern writers are going to tell you to attach the fin between this row and this row.
Right, yeah.
You know, and show you a diagram so that you can see, or a picture so you know for sure where to do it. Although the crochet whales don't favor one another, I did have fun making this little guy, even though I felt confused much of the time. My hope is that this little experiment has convinced you to see that AI tools like ChatGPT still can't write an actual crochet pattern. Now, ChatGPT is what I used for my pictures to start with, and what I got was a black and white cat and a huge, so the ones with the huge ball of yarns came from ChatGPT. Did not get a hook, like I said, just huge balls of yarn that almost completely covered up the cats in some of the pictures.
That's
Here
funny.
are 6 of my best tips for spotting fake AI crochet images. Individually, these concepts aren't red flags, but when you begin to see more than one of them at a time, you should stop and dig a little deeper. Details. When you look at an image of crochet pattern, is it incredibly detailed? Is it more detailed than any other crochet pattern you've ever seen or made yourself? That can be a hint that the pattern was created with AI. I mean, look at this butterfly. I would love to make this butterfly. But honestly, there's details on there of stitches that I wouldn't even know how to make them.
Right. And it's beautiful too. The colors, beautiful colors.
Yeah. Beautiful, vibrant, gorgeous. And I mean, where you see the yellow, go up against the blue here, how did they change the color to get it like that? Maybe they're using a yarn that changes color, but That would be hard to imitate it on both sides. Just
Right.
saying. Which stitch is it? You can tell can you tell which stitch they are using? Look really closely at the details to see if you recognize the stitches. This can be hard if you're a beginner to crochet, but you have experience, you may be able to spot that it's fake just by trying to identify the stitches. And again, yeah, there's some of them in here that when I look at them, I'm like, there is no way. I don't know how they made that.
Yeah, for real.
Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, it is. I love that sweater.
Is the size of this project likely beyond the scope of human capacity? Oh, wait. Oh, this one went with what stitch is it? Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute. I know the picture that goes with that one. I mean, so look in here, like up here. What stitches are there? That looks like knit and it's crochet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that makes it easier than looking at the butterfly. Size of project. Is the size of this project likely beyond the scope of human capacity? Is it so large that it would be difficult for a human to actually make? Like that one. Take a closer look. Look at the image as a whole. Is there something wrong with it? For example, an elephant with a leg for a trunk? Have a critical eye to spot inconsistencies that just don't make sense. So here you go. You have the elephant, and instead you have a foot for the trunk instead of an actual trunk. Now, on
That's a problem.
the thumbnail that I made, the one that was all the way down at the bottom of the right corner, the cat was sitting there like a regular cat would. You saw its hind legs and its front legs. And then you saw two cat paws holding the yarn. So, where did the arms come to hold that yarn? Where'd they come from? Cats don't have, you know, four sets of arms or six sets of legs. Oh, colors. Are the colors so fantastical that they take your breath away? Have you ever seen yarn that looks like the image? Are the color changes happening seamlessly? I mean, again, trying to replicate that yarn. Yes, there are some very vibrant yarns out there, but not as much and changing color the way that these look like, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's too much color change. Even if you color controlled, that's still too much.
Human hands. One of the best ways to detect whether an image is AI or not is to look at the hands of any human in the image. AI has a tough time creating realistic looking hands. There can be the wrong number of fingers, or the texture of the hand doesn't look quite real. With this image, the hands look fine, but the way the person is holding yarn and hook are all wrong. Look at that. Besides, again, the hook looks more like a spear than a crochet hook. Just like the hooks with the cat, they were this great big huge wide hook, one that makes me think of like a fish hook, but huge.
And nobody holds their yarn that way. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. Questions to ask yourself. Before purchasing or following a pattern, ask yourself a few different questions. Who is the designer? Who is the designer? Do they have social media? This is one of the best current ways to discover if a crochet pattern is fake or not. Can you trace back to where the design to who the designer is? Almost every single crochet designer I know has a social media account or a website. Do they look like a real person? Do they have a name, a photo of themselves, and a bio? Those are good indicators that the project was created by a real person.
Right.
Is there a video? Is there a video of the project or just a photo? This is especially important on places like Etsy. When you're looking at a listing for a crochet pattern, see if there is a video. Are they showing the front, back, and sides of the project? Just because a listing only has photos doesn't automatically make it fake. Check to see if there are photos of the project from all angles. Yeah, a lot of designers that I follow, they only put up, pictures. They don't always show pictures of them wearing it.
Right.
I love this one.
I know.
AI generated versus real crochet projects. Now, here we go. Here's the quiz that she has. Now that we've gone over all these tips, let's put our knowledge to the test and see if we can spot the real crochet projects, those that were created and those that were created with AI. Can you see that okay? I didn't want to accidentally put up the answer.
Right. I can.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So A or B, you guys. Hi, Kimberly. How are you doing?
Everybody fell asleep on us.
I think so. I had wondered if anybody was saying anything while I was reading.
No, everybody's been quiet.
They got to stop crocheting now to answer. Come on, guys. A or B. So you think A is you're telling us which is the real one. Okay, Fiber Fox says B is the real crochet. Wait, see if there's any more answers. Just remember that because I was messing up on it before because I thought I would say which one was the AI generated and it meant B is the real one. Do. I better not do that. I don't want to get.
Sonda said,
My channel is so small. I doubt I would get copyright, but I better not do that. B then, I misunderstood. Okay, I figured you did, and I figured I gave away the answer when I corrected you. But okay, so enough people answered. As you can tell, the pencil is the B is the right one, and that is actually one of her patterns. The real one is B. That is my very own pattern, Mr. Pencil. And you can find the free pattern here. And she gives a link on the page when you're there. Now there's this one. Which cute little frog is fake and which one is real? So just tell us which one is real.
says B. Courtney says B. Kimberly says B.
Okay. So now, you guys, y'all have that right. Before I go on, why is A fake? This one was the easiest one to, well, no, the pencil was easy, but to me, after that, this was the easiest to figure out. The stitches, Fiber Fox says. Okay, did you notice anything else? If you look at it closely, let me see if anybody else notices it.
Kimberly.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Maybe it's too far away and they can't see it like we could when it was closer up. The arm has two arms. So it's not like it has a leg that's hanging over and an arm on top of it. It
Yeah.
has over on the left side, it's an arm on top of an arm.
The fingers.
Yeah, and the fingers. So, yeah, that was the dead giveaway for me. If you can see it up closer than what you see here, you can see that it's like the second arm coming out is attached underneath the hand.
She said, "Yeah, I see that weird part now."
That weird appendage.
Yeah.
The real frog is B. He's an adorable pattern from Crochet Candyland Company on Etsy. And then she gives you a link for that too on her page. Now, this one was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Which crocheted party hat is real and which one is fake? Oops. I accidentally showed it, so I don't know if anybody saw me do that or not.
Don't pay attention to the screen. Pay attention to the pictures.
Well, you are in front of it, so they may not have noticed it.
Like on Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Actually, I should probably do that. That way we're not in front of it anymore. Okay, A is real, A is real. Let me see if I can get it. See what this does. There we go. That's even better. You guys can see it better. You don't need to see us.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I got that one wrong, but in my defense, I really wasn't looking at the screen when I said I,
So tell me, why is B fake?
I know the answer. Oh, you can't see me raise my hand over here.
Yeah, I took us off. They can't see us now.
Yeah, so why is B fake, y'all?
The first time I did this quiz, I got it wrong too. And when I took a really, really close look at B, I figured it out.
Amy says the color.
Color could be part of it because it does have the bright, vibrant colors. But I've actually seen mandalas that are, could compare to that. The swirls. Yep. The swirlies are too perfect, and if you can see it closer, you cannot tell the stitch that they're made out of. Yep, yep, yep. You guys are so good. Okay. Let me give the link to the hat too. Now, granny squares are a big trend right now, and these two images are pretty similar, but one is real and one is fake. And which one is real?
One that's not fake.
My husband says the one that's not fake.
Correct.
This one I had a hard time with.
I think I did too. I can't remember.
I think we both got it wrong the first time we did it. But when I went through it before I'd shown it to you, we still both had a hard time.
Kimberly says A is real.
Okay.
Courtney also says A is real. Are you still there? Am I by my lonesome?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm still here.
Well, I can't see us, so I
Yeah.
got to see if I could turn my refrigerator off because it's annoying and very loud, but it didn't work. So,
Nobody said anything after Courtney, so okay. I'm just gonna move on because it doesn't look like anybody else is. I think they're having a hard time like we did, and I'll show you the answer. The real crocheted granny square cardigan is A. Oh, and she doesn't say why. I forgot she never said why. I think it's because of the colors and maybe because of the pom poms as buttons,
yeah.
but otherwise I didn't know exactly why. But I guess considering there was a real human who was wearing A is another good reason.
Yeah.
And I don't see
Said,
any like weird hands or feet or anything.
yeah. Courtney said it's all the edging for me on B that like makes it look fake. And then
Oh
Sandra said,
yeah, because it does look like the edging has like some extra stitch in the middle. I never noticed that before. Okay. Now this one I really had a problem with. Which shawl, if you're finding the quiz more challenging, that's on purpose. The first couple were pretty easy. Oops. And I've left the harder images for last.
yeah, I think we got that one wrong too. But you just showed the answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Don't look at it. It won't. Oh well. Which one is fake and which one is real? I can't let it. It won't show that sentence without showing the answer. Because she's got them too close together.
And Kimberly said the two squares by the shoulders make it look wonky.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look at that in a minute. Abby says it's just hard to meet. Well, that's why we're telling you we had a hard time on the last couple
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why we wanted to do this so everybody could see them and start looking at it differently when you look at them different.
And see on this one right here that she's showing now, the shawls, they both look like they're real to me because of the fans on A and then all the lace work on B. But
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly says she's not sure. And Amber says, I think B is the real one. And Courtney says A is real.
Okay. Sanji, you going to try and take a, or was your A for this one? I'll wait for Sanji to say again, then I'll tell you. Sanja, can you hear me?
Courtney says, yes, both really look like they could be made, but B's main body doesn't look crochet to me. You could make. Okay.
This is another one that, yeah, it was hard, and I know I got it wrong the first time, but then after knowing which one it was easier to spot it. And if it was closer up.
what she said.
Okay, I don't know if Sandra walked away or what. So
Yeah, I'm going with whatever Kathy said.
Kimberly says in A, the color is off.
Bob said he's going by whatever Kathy says. Kathy's too busy crocheting. She's not
She
answering.
makes them all the time, right?
Yeah, she makes them all the time. That's for sure.
Hey, I'm muting myself, okay?
Okay, so I'm going to put this down so you can see the real shawl is B. So that you can see that it says that right here. So, Ambi, for not knowing, you're the one who got it right. Now, if you could see this a little bit closer, you would see why that is, because the fans and that on A look kind of like the rounded parts on that sweater that she showed earlier. And they look like stitches that you can't tell exactly what they are. B, yeah, it's a smaller shawl and that, but when you look at it and you get to see it a little bit closer, which I wish I could show it to you closer, you could see it better. Let me see. I don't know. Oops. Did it take it off? Oh, it closed. Hold on a minute. Sorry, technical difficulty. My computer has a thing of easily closing tabs, so I apologize. It closed it as I was trying to move it.
Yeah, and it didn't put us back either.
That's because I had to go find it and open it, which I just did. But it's not completely opened yet. There we go. So let me get it back. Sorry about that, guys. I was going to see if I could make it bigger. There we go. So now that I'm back here, will it go bigger?
Courtney said she was shook on that. And then Kathy says, I'm on my phone and the pictures are too hard for her to see.
Yeah. I figured they were too hard for you to see, hon.
And then Courtney says she wants to make both.
I know. I actually like that one, but can you tell now that I made it bigger?
And then Sandra said that she'll be right back. And yes, you can see now that it's bigger.
Because honestly, with all the big gaps in here and all of those stitches in there, I would think that that would make it pretty heavy and that they wouldn't lay right.
Yeah, that's true. But they still look perfect shells too that you could possibly pull off doing. Courtney says she's gonna be in the shower listening.
Yeah. Well, there's also these gaps in the middle of it,
Yeah.
of the shells. So they look wonky. They look like a very wonky. And I know that you can't do fans as well with crochet as you can in knitting. At least I've been told that.
Yeah.
So let me take this back down because I do think there's one more. And I'll go find it and then I'll make it big. How's that? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The penguins. I've left the hardest for last, she says.
And even though she said it was the hardest, that one was the easiest for me.
There we go. I'm jumping in the shower. I'll be listening. I did that right before we came on. So I hope you got to at least see this one before you jumped in. If not, you can go visit the page. Okay, Kimberly says A. And this is the last one. Yeah, Kaylin got this one right. I got it wrong the first time I saw it.
I know my penguins.
But I just thought of a whole nother reason why that I never thought of before on this one.
Sandra said she'll be back, so she's not here to answer.
Okay.
Amby says, I
Yeah, I
wonder.
saw she said she was jumping in the shower.
No, Courtney says she'll jump in the shower.
Oh,
Sandra will be right back. She getting Ben a snack.
oh yeah, I had seen that.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, but Amby says she wants to say A, but maybe,
Maybe both kind of don't look real. Yeah, I
yeah,
saw.
that part too.
So Kimberly and Abby answered. Sanja's off. So is I always forget their names. Sorry guys, I'm bad with names, so I remember channel names better. Fiverr Fox is Courtney, right?
Yes.
She's gone. So we might as well tell her what the answer is because Kathy can't see them very well. So let me reveal it. Which of the oops, let me read first. Which of the two amigurumi crochet penguins is fake and which one is real? This one is really tough, and I have to give it to AI for coming up with this image. The real penguin is A. One of the reasons I knew, well, and I should have known that it was real, is because I've seen Mumford the penguin pattern before, and it's an amigurumi that I've wanted to make. So bad on me. And B looks like it's got real stitches in there, but if you look at it, like I'm seeing it up close here better since I made it bigger. If the penguin, this one has more to do, I think, with size, unless they blew up the picture. But this penguin made out of yarn, the size that it looks like it's made out of would not be this size.
Right.
Because it looks like it's made out of maybe a DK weight. And it looks like, if you thought of how when you do a picture, that it's probably more of like 6 or 7 inches high. And that's a worsted weight, at least.
Yeah. And I know you can get the color effect on white yarn if you like use. Look, she says the yellow is off. Yeah, and
Yeah,
see
and the yellow.
what I chalked that down to is like using a marker or something and trying to make it bleed. You know, the marker bleed to make the color go in different spots. But also too, if you look at B's beak, that's another way to tell. I muted myself again.
Bee's feet, how? I know you muted yourself, but I want to know how.
Beak, beak.
Oh, beak. Yeah, the beak. Yeah, they're not usually made like that. And especially not in like a gray color. But yeah, there's a whole row of white over here. Yep. Good job, everybody.
Yes, good job, y'all. Kimberly says it looks like a unicorn horn.
Okay, and that's the end. And she says sharing, make sure to pin this post to save it for future reference. Sharing is caring. So again, I would appreciate it. I put the link down in the description. So if you guys would like to go and see them more up close, that would be great. Now, the last thing that we have to share with you, show with you.
I was wondering.
Wow. Yeah, you know me. I can't talk very well. I saw some Let me put us back up
Go
first.
make us come back. So
Ooh,
they're not
coming back. Ooh, wrong one.
green.
There we go. It looks like a unicorn horn. Yes, it does. Okay. So I saw a store advertised on AOL and fell in love with something and I wanted to make it. And I was going to go, they weren't free. I was going to go and buy it because I knew that AI patterns are usually offered for free. So if you saw, let me pull this up, get this ready so it's in a space.
Sandra's back.
Okay, you can see the name there. Okay. Let me come back to you now so I can. I think it'd be better just to get it where I wanted it to be
Right.
before starting. These are tagged the best sellers. If you saw these, what would you think?
Oh yeah, that page.
Would you think that this is a legit company? It's fine to purchase the patterns and that everything would be fine? I guess I should scroll some and show you some more.
I say yes. I would buy all of them.
Well, yeah, well, of course, these Halloween ones,
Right.
thought of M when I saw them. I liked the fairies, but I was kind of like, on the fairies. I wasn't sure. They have butterflies, but it's not on the front page now like it was when I had first seen it.
Sandra says probably not.
So they look a bit off.
Kimberly said, "Yeah, I would buy some."
Okay, Kimberly Wood. So I decided before I would purchase anything that I was going to look up more information on the company. Because to me, some of these looked, let me make them bigger, maybe that, too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
But other ones look perfectly fine. Well, this sweaters is a good one to show. And those birds and that tropical stuff. So I really wanted to buy some, but the more I looked, the more I got concerned. Because who puts all of this detail in a teeny, 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 tiny cardigan sweater? I mean, some people would, but that is a lot of detail on that sweater, especially when you're looking at it closer up.
Right.
And when you're looking here, look at that pineapple there and this bird here.
Yeah.
So I Googled, is crochet ease a legit business? If they were legit, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and buy some. And of course, the place that always pops up when you're trying to find answers for anything anymore that I normally don't go and look at, but it seems like more and more when I'm trying to find out if like a place is legit or if they're selling like vitamins and stuff that won't work for you or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I end up going and looking at Reddit because it
Yeah.
seems to be the one where they'll give you your opinion whether you want it or not, and you can take
Mm.
from there what you think. So I looked it up on Reddit get it to open up here. There we go. I didn't have to put a question on here because somebody else had already questioned it. Share screen. So somebody else had already had seen a lot of ads on Facebook for crochetees. Did a search here and didn't find that company name. Are they legit? There are some cute patterns, but getting a little leery of patterns nowadays. Like all of us are.
Mm-hmm.
At least people who actually know about AI. I know there's some people who may be new and who don't know anything about, crochet and AI. This person says paint like ink that. Oh, that's an ad. Sorry. This person says a quick look see over their website and Instagram, because they have an Instagram as well, seems to indicate they've been online for at least over 1 year. On their website, their phone number uses the country code for France. The photos of most, but not all of their patterns have the distinctive, to me, look of AI generated images. And that's what I thought. They don't list any free patterns on their website, so no way, short of paying for me, to say if the pattern themselves are AI generated or not. They're on Etsy, where it looks like they have more than 5,000 sales and 4.5-star ratings, and their Etsy shop also states they are in France. So offhand, I'd say I don't see any obvious signs that they are a scam. Now, when I saw it, they were offering a really great price, and I still thought about maybe trying it. This person down here says, thank you. I had searched Etsy but didn't find it by name. Yes, a lot of the items on their website look AI generated. I particularly like a couple of the cardigans as I have two young granddaughters. One worries me though because look at the buttons. What the heck? The large hearts too. How is it that it looks all stitched around the edge? So the buttons, if you can look at it a little bit closer, see if I can make this bigger. Almost look like they're stitched around the edge of the buttons. But plus, one of the things that you look out for in AI, you've got buttons on both sides. You don't
Yeah.
have buttonholes, you have buttons on both sides. That was what made me go ding, 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 oh no. And when you look at this lace pattern, I was like, how do they make that? Some of those stitches just don't look right to me.
Right.
So I decided not to buy. I did go to their Etsy page and I looked at their Etsy page. I'm not going to pull it up on here. I mean, there's enough problems with Etsy, and if you even show their stuff, and I'm not going to do that. But let me stop sharing this. What I saw on Etsy was, yes, even on Etsy, everything looked pretty much AI generated. They have some that didn't, but most of them looked AI generated. And then when you saw the images of what people actually made when they came out with it, they still look kind of cute, but they're nothing like what the picture looks like.
Right.
So that's the other thing. There are a lot of stores that are using AI generated pictures, but will have legit patterns. But there's no way that when you make that pattern, it's going to look like the picture that they put up. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person that if I'm going to buy a pattern, I already know from a legit pattern that it's probably not going to look exactly the same because I'm going to have some problems here or there. It's just the way it goes with basically almost anything you make. But
Yeah.
it still looks really darn close. I mean, just like this one that I just tested, I'll show you.
Everybody has different tension and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
the variation that you're going to see as well.
So I just tested this for Green Fox Farms. She just put the pattern out yesterday, I believe. And it came out looking, I think, pretty cute. It's a little bit more baggy on the bottom than it was supposed to be. I used a different yarn and yarn tension than she had asked for. I was hoping to get a smaller one that would be um, like toy size for a cat toy, but it still ended up being too big. I'm
Yeah.
hoping at some point in time I'm going to make another one so I have the Mr. and Mrs. Sea Turtle to go together. I have enough of this yarn up here, but not enough of the green yarn. So I've got to see if I can find some more because this was Dollar Tree cotton yarn. And I don't think I have any more, but I will have to look for sure.
Sandra said all 10 jars of pickles were sealed.
Yay. So I have no problem buying from a legit designer and knowing that I'm going to be off some. But I guess I have a really huge problem buying from a company that uses AI pictures because I know it's never going to look like it. And now, if I can tell the ones that aren't AI pictures, then maybe I would. But then that makes me wonder, and I don't know because I have not read this about this business, but personally for myself, it makes me wonder if this may not be a company that then has gone and found other people's patterns and put them up as their own.
Right. Like that one person did that,
Right.
that I watched.
So, with all of the issues that are going on lately, I was just like, no, I just cannot purchase anything from them. And then when I went back and saw the prices and how much they've gone up from when I was looking at them, I was just like, no, no way.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And plus, I mean, I saw the ad on Facebook, and a lot of, if you don't know, it's come out that a lot of the ads on Facebook are scammers
Mm-hmm.
who want to look like they're the company, but they're not truly the real company. So like
Right.
I see stuff up on there from Hobie all the time, and it makes me wonder if it's truly Hobie, which some of it I know it is, but there's
Mm-hmm.
other ones that look like it may not be. So I just go to Hobie's website to order from them. If it's
Right.
a company that I know and I want to buy some of their stuff, I find their website and I buy from their website. I will not buy from an ad.
Yeah. Courtney says those people are not crocheters from my experience. They are just stealing patterns or scamming people with patterns generated by AI.
See, that's what I thought. But without knowing, I wasn't going to come out and say that. I will say I think that, but I didn't know for sure. And I was hoping that's what I would find when I went onto Reddit.
And I'm gonna tell you too, this has nothing to do with crochet, but it's something else that I do with my friend. Scammers are getting very, very crafty. My friend, she owns her own business and she puts up the water slides, the blow up water slides. And I help her when her worker doesn't show up. Anyway, my point is, she has been told by two different people now that someone out of the biggest town close to us, which is about 25 miles that way, has this company and they're making you do a deposit of $200, and then whenever your day comes to put out a slide, you don't get a slide and you don't get your money back. So these scammers are becoming crafty, is what I was getting at.
Mhm. For years, people use Stitch Fiddle to create patterns that don't work out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Stitch Fiddle. And Sandra said there are some from Hobby.
Michael's, Joann's, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know if you have a true designer using Stitch Fiddle, they're going to redo and redo and redo that chart until it works right. It still may not be as close as it needs to be, but they're going to work their tail off and spend hours and hours on it until it looks as close as it's going to get.
Right. Kimberly says people are just inhuman.
So that's the reason why we wanted to tell you about the AI stuff and bring it up and show it. And in the process, we've learned some other things about AI, which we're planning on looking into more,
Hmm.
which isn't as much as a scammy part of it, but ways that I don't know. I mean, we got to look into it more. So we don't know if it's truly scammy or not, or if it's a better way to use it. So,
Right. Then Courtney says, I know all of things from people coming to me asking for help on those patterns and after being ignored by the shop. Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just so sad. I mean, even on our home phones anymore, you can't answer the phone if you don't know who the phone number is from.
Yeah. And I answer a phone at the restaurant that I work for, and I couldn't tell you how many times I've said the restaurant name, and the person on the other side is like, "Hello, I'm from your TV company," but on the caller ID it says Dollar General.
Yeah.
I said, "What?" I said, "What TV company is calling me from Dollar General?" And they hung up.
Yeah. I know if I hear a pause, I just automatically hang up because that's usually indicative of the fact that somebody is coming on who wants to scam you.
Right? Yeah.
Although they're getting better and that pause is not there as much as it used to be.
Right. I even had one of them when they called me. They're like, I said, "This is a business, so you'll have to talk to the business owner." And he was like, "Well, how many TVs do you have?" I was like, "That's none of your business. This is a place of business. If you want to order food, you tell me your order. If not, I'm hanging up."
Yeah. What kills me, I mean, and I learned this, I mean, years ago, I haven't been massaging for how many years now? Bob,
What?
how many years have I not been massaging for now?
Since 18.
Okay, yeah, since 2018. That's what I thought, but I wasn't positive. And even when I was still working as a massage therapist, I would get calls and I'd have people tell me, you just called me. You just
Right.
called me and you didn't leave a message. Why didn't you leave a message? I'm like, because I didn't call you. And I used to call people and say, you just called me and hung up on me.
Mm-hmm.
And they would tell me the same thing. I didn't call you. And then I heard it on the news that people were finding a way to use people's phone numbers,
Right.
you know, and it wasn't even them using it.
Sandra said the funniest is when your own phone number pops up.
Yeah. I've never had that happen to me, but that's what made me think about what I was just saying. Now, a funny one I got, and it was meant for me, was a wife of somebody saw my card in his truck,
Hmm.
and he had been coming to get massages because he had pulled a muscle or something. And she called me and she's like, "Who are you and why are you having sex with my husband?"
What?
And I was like, excuse me? I'm not having sex with your husband. Well, your card's in his thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to talk to your husband about that because I have to be professional and I can't tell you.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to say whether he walked through my door or not.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not having sex with your husband. And then I had somebody else who called me. I used to put a coupon on the back that was to get a full hour massage for $20,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd give it out as tips and things at the, when we'd go out to eat, or just, for whatever we were doing, I'd give it out as a tip or whatever. And I had some lady call me. Why is your number? My husband doesn't need a massage. Why is your card in my husband's car? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. Never heard of him. Sorry. I don't know who you're talking about, what you're talking about. Maybe he just picked up my card on the many different places where I have a stack
Mm-hmm.
of them at different businesses. I worked at a chiropractor. They'd have my cards out front. I
Mm-hmm.
worked at a gym. They had my cards out front. And plus, then I had people who I gave massages to who would take my cards to put them in their business. So I'm sorry, I don't know. I have no idea why. Well, you better leave my husband alone. He does not need your type of massage. And I was like, excuse me, my type? Yeah,
That's funny.
I miss massaging a lot. I do not miss those kind of calls.
I can imagine.
So I want to say, if you guys happen to see anything about AI and you're curious about it and you would like somebody to delve into it, since we're already looking into things on AI, feel free to send us a message and say, hey, I saw this. Accidental homewrecker. Yep. Just be like, I saw this. I would like to know more. Maybe it would, fit into what you guys are looking at. And we will definitely look into it to see if it fits. Yeah. The sad thing is when people in the media certain show that they get a lot of stuff wrong on lately. Make it sound like female massage therapists are terrible. To me, AI is just more things on the internet that aren't real or true. Yeah. But the sad thing is trying to figure out what is truly AI.
Yeah, exactly. I've been seeing a lot of commercials too. What was I watching? Oh, I was watching the Peacock app. I can't remember what show. Oh, I think I was watching SVU, Law and Order, and I kept seeing ads on there about different types of AI that help you in your house or something.
Yeah, because there are people, the more that you look at it, who are trying to do good with it.
Right,
And then, as always, you have the people who have got to use it for bad.
right.
So I want to explore some other things. I don't know if any of you have listened to, oh no, my brain's not going to think of her name.
Gia.
Gia from Hobby, however you say it. I've been trying to say hobby ever since Steven said that's the way you say it, but I always forget. Um, I've been listening to her podcasts, which I'm down a couple of them. I had offered to be one of her guinea pigs when she first asked for a guinea pig, so I got to hear him before she put him out. But she has one that talks about AI that is very interesting. And I wrote her back about that one and asked her if she could follow up on it and explain more about the different ways that she says that she uses ChatGPT. Because I would like to know how to do those things that she uses it for. But I don't want to get into what it is because we're going to talk about it next time. So,
Right. Amby says it's just like anything that can be used for good or bad. And then she said, no, she hasn't.
Yeah. You know, I was like anything, the bad people are making it bad for all of us. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then a sad thing, like, has been apparent in a couple of the different court cases out recently, is people that you think are doing good can be doing bad.
Mm-hmm. I hope Adam playing his guitar back there is not picking up.
I don't hear it
Okay, good.
myself. So, try to take everything, with a grain of salt and go from there. I believe in the one true person I need to be believing in. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we don't hear it either. Well, as you said earlier, your channel's not that big, but we still don't want to get copyright strikes.
right.
Because he is playing a song that can probably be told. He's gotten a lot better. Trust me, I
Well,
hear it
that's good.
every day. Every day.
Which one is he playing?
Um, in the Pines, I think is what it's called.
Oh, I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah. He's doing good though. I'm honestly, but there's just some days where
I just need it quiet for a while, please.
I'm like, son, it's time. It's time to be quiet, please. Like, no noise anymore.
Yep. That's when I was in high school and I played an instrument with the band,
Mm-hmm.
starting with grade school. I had certain hours I was allowed to practice, and then after that, you know, no more
Right. Yeah.
unless nobody was home, and then I could. But as soon as somebody came home, then I had to stop.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Yes.
Bluegrass. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. It's a good song. HD. Long time no see. Of course, I ain't been in the YouTube streets like I used to be either.
Handmade with love. Welcome in. Welcome in.
We were discussing AI in crochet. That was our topic for tonight.
Yeah, we had started putting titles on everything, saying what we're talking about, but we had been kind of close-lipped about this one. So
Yeah, we wanted to see if anyone could guess.
yeah, I put a ton of AI pictures on the thumbnail.
Yeah. Which was my idea. I was like,
Yes, it was.
hey, how about this? How about you use AI images on the thumbnail?
So I said, "Oh, thanks for giving me more work."
And
But it
then
was fun. I got to use my favorite subject, cats.
HD said, be aware of spam mails, even it's came from our friends. Just ignore those message or spam links because sometimes real friends' emails may be hacked due to inactivity.
Yep.
So
Yep.
don't answer anything. Okay.
What I do, I actually used to be a way back when there was AOL. I used to be a chat host, and before we could do that, I got my AOL for free if I was a chat host for so many hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to go through classes on the safety of the internet and all of that. And so from day one, I learned, do not click on links that you don't know who they came from.
Right. Yeah.
So even, and you can ask Sanja because I've done it to her. If she sends me an email that just has a link, or she says something that has a link and I have no idea what it is, I message her and say, "What is that?" I
Right.
have, I'm sorry, but I don't click on links unless I know, because I know too many times that my daughter would get, you know, emails from her friends thinking that it was something they sent her, and then all of a sudden we would be having to fix the computer because, it
Yeah.
had a virus or something on it.
Right.
And she'd be, I don't know how I did that, Mom. So yeah. So links are no on your phone or on a laptop or computer, unless I get mad at. I told my husband, we used to get from the doctor's office, an explanation, or at least that it came from them,
Mm-hmm.
and then a link um, to pre-sign in. Then all of a sudden they were sending just the links, didn't say where it came from.
Mm.
So I was like, so I went in, I told my doctor, I said, until they change this layout and it shows who it's from again, I will not click these links.
Right. I don't
I
blame you.
just, I won't, because I don't know where it's from.
Right.
I think I had accidentally hit it, and that's how I knew that it was from them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known it was from them. Mostly it affects inactive emails. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times if I get on Facebook a friend request from somebody who I know is already my friend, I will message them and say, "Oh, I think you got hacked."
Yeah.
And then there's one person who I know, she changes it all the time, but I still tell her that. And she's like, "Oh, I just changed it again." And I'm like, "Okay. Well, you need to send a message telling people that you made a new page and you're closing your other one."
Due to other works like job or family responsibilities, then they don't check Gmail. What happens inside something they didn't know? Hacked. And not nowadays. We have so many hacking things, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were just talking about all the different calls and stuff.
Well, my cousin, she made a new Facebook, and she sent me a message. She didn't try to send a friend request. She sent me a message, but Facebook sent it to my spam, and I don't even remember why. I think there was. It kept telling me that I had a message, but I couldn't find it. So I went through everything, and that's when I got to the spam thing, and she put a password in there that she knew that I would know, and so I sent her a friend request. She was like, had to make a new page. Password is, and I'm not telling y'all our password. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't expect you to. Well, that's like, I've got to figure out. I used to have a program on my computer when it was Windows 10, and I
Hmm.
just upgraded, because for anybody who may not know this, but if you have something with Windows, a computer with Windows 10, I'm sure you're getting something every day now saying, "Are you upgrading yet? Are you going to upgrade today to Windows 11?" Because you only have until October until Windows 10 is obsolete.
Mm.
So I finally upgraded, and they didn't say it was a VPN, but I think I got it before like they really started talking about VPNs, but it does what the VPNs do. It scrambles my
Hmm.
um, IP address, and it makes it bad every time I sign in. I have to redo everything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to do that now. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out, I can't remember where it came from now. So I'm trying to figure out, because they did send me all of my apps from Windows 10 that they may not be on the computer. So I'm trying to figure out what it was. I thought it came from Citibank, but or Capital One, but I could be completely wrong. But I found a different VPN that is available for free.
Okay, that's good.
But that makes me hesitate too.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That could be a scam. What gets me is when people call and it sounds like someone you know, but it's not them. How are you supposed to know it's not that person? Never had this happen to me, thank God.
I've never had that happen to me, unless it was my mom calling me because her and I sound alike, or I'm calling somebody and they're like, "Oh wow, thought it was your mom."
Yeah. I remember one time my sister called at my friend's house and they're like, Kaylin, it's your mom. And I answered the phone. I was like, it's my sister's mom.
Yeah, not too long ago, my aunt had called my mom's house and she was talking to me like I was like my mom, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not
I,
my mom.
I had an hour-long conversation one time with my sister's friend because she thought I was my sister. And I thought she was wanting to talk to me because, like, I was 12. I didn't know that she thought I was my sister.
I thought that a friend of mine named Trisha, Trisha, was
Mhm.
messaging me, but it was Tricia, and it turns out that it was a nurse practitioner, and I knew her name was Trisha because I wanted to email her yesterday and I couldn't find it. Actually, I wanted to send her a message and I couldn't find where we had last talked. And I'm like, I know I didn't delete it. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I thought she was Trisha. So this whole conversation I thought I had with my friend, I didn't.
Amby said she heard on the news saying that it's another way people are scamming people.
Wouldn't be surprised. Probably people who call to scam people and then they use a tape device and tape your
Yeah.
voice.
Well, I think I remember. Um, I can't remember where I saw it at, but I think I remember somebody saying that if like somebody calls you and says that they have one of your loved ones held and you got to pay a ransom to immediately hang up from them, call the relative that they say who it is and then call the cops because it's somebody trying to scam and that
Oh
they
yeah,
use something that makes it sound like the person. I think I
they
know.
do that all the time. Yeah. Now that you say that, because they especially do it to an older person and tell them that their grandson or granddaughter has been put
Mhm.
in jail and needs them to send the money to get them out. That don't worry, you don't have to go in person. You can, you know,
Yeah. I
pay
even
by phone and that will get them out.
Yeah, she said that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I saw something too. This woman, she called the cops because this elderly lady was using the Bitcoin ATM and was putting, she said it was not just little $1 bills she was putting in there. She was putting like hundreds of $100 bills in there. And it was because somebody told her that she was going to be sued or taken to jail because she didn't pay something. But anyways,
That
that
or they have the scams where they call you and say that you owe them money, and then
right,
they say that in the process you ended up paying them too much. So they're going to send you money back, and then oops, we paid you too much. And then you're supposed to send us the money back. And in actuality, you're sending them all they get into your bank system and they can take all your money.
right, yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy, if you've never seen him, there's actually a couple guys on YouTube who do videos on scamming the scammers.
Mhm.
And there's this one, I love him. He actually works with the FBI. So as soon as he can tell that they're talking to somebody, he'll listen in and he'll get the details and he will try and get a hold of that person. But the scammers are getting better. They'll tell them, don't talk to anybody, only talk to us, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah. And
yeah.
he'll find a way to break in. And then, but he will set up with the federal whatever agency that if the person happens to send them all the money that they ask for, they're going to get their money back
Right. Yeah.
because they stop the processing of it.
Well, I know one time my niece asked for help on Cash App, and she asked Google, and it gave a number, and it gave a number to someone who told her to download an app. And when she downloaded the app, he took control of her phone, and he wired himself $500 because
Hmm.
that's all he could get out of her account.
Yeah, I'm like, well, at least if they try to get anything from me, they're only going to get, like $200.
Yeah.
Well, 300 something that's been put away for vacation.
But anyway, she filed a police report, and the bank gave her money back.
Yeah, well, that's nice because there's some banks who won't do that anymore because there's been so many scams.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had fraudulent use on mine. We had went. It was when I was doing the Jamberry nails, and we'd went to a convention, and Bob went with me because it was somewhere close. And the clerk, we knew it had to have been a clerk from when we got our room
Mm-hmm.
because they used my card. That was the only person who had gotten my card before I went to buy. I went to buy a top, one of the shirts that said something about massage. Actually, no, it was it was a massage therapist convention. It wasn't the Jamberry nails. It was massage therapy. I went to buy a shirt that said something about massage therapy on it, and the woman was like, "It says you have no funds," and I was like, "What do you mean I have no funds?" I'm like, I knew I had funds. I had enough to spend so much on, if I wanted merchandise or, whatever,
Yeah.
and to pay for the room and all of that. And so I had to call the bank right away. And yeah, they paid me back. And they told me that there were so many fraud cases that somebody will probably call me back at some point in time, but it could take 5 to 10 years. And I, to this day, have not heard back from anybody.
Oh wow.
And that was like 2015 or 2016.
Oh wow.
I was just very lucky, because I told them, I said, I can tell you who took it. And they're like, yeah, but you didn't see it, so you can't actually prove. I said, yeah,
Mm.
but nobody else had my card in their hand to be able to get my numbers except
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Amby said she saw a video from someone in the UK, and they said they can't believe in the US how at restaurants we give our cards to the waiter/waitress, and they go off with it.
Yeah, well, I think that's why they start having pay at the booth stuff now.
Yeah. And then HD said, here, one example, two friends playing a game. Suddenly, one friend said, hey, download this game. And the other friend don't know that friend Discord already compromised. Then, boom, both computers got hacked. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Discord,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of upset because night night Sanja.
Good night, Sandra.
Um, Hannah put it up to a vote for the people on her Patreon. We were using some other service that she liked, and it's not working as well anymore. And she was like, do you guys want to use Facebook, which I know a lot of people don't like, or do you want to use Discord? And I'm like, I wanted to use Facebook. And like 80% of the people wanted Discord. So she made a Discord group. And I'm like, okay, if I join it, I said, first of all, I can't join it on my phone because I know I've heard there's really lots of problems on your phone. I said, I'll try it, but I'm going to be very careful.
Yeah. I have Discord on my phone, but it's offloaded right now because the last update I had to offload a whole bunch of apps. But I really didn't use it because, for one, it's not complicated. Like it's self-explanatory whenever you click on things, but I never check it like I do Facebook.
Right. Well, I think the next time that we have where we crochet together and along, I'm going to tell her, just make sure that you do not ever send us links for something you want us to download or something, that you send that in email and that you don't send it through Discord, and that you explain everything if you want us to do something like that, because sorry, I'm not clicking on any links through Discord. I won't
Right.
do it. I've heard it's the worst app that you can use.
That's like one time um, Aiden had his Snapchat hacked because he thought he knew who it was, and it was not who they said it was. Amber says she uses Discord.
I know. What was I going to say? Oh, well, besides the fact that as they found out from more and more cases of guys who molest kids and stuff, they have their own Discord rooms where they share all their pictures and stuff.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's another reason why I'm like, I don't want to use Discord. That a lot of them will go into the like game apps and stuff, and the kids think that they're talking to somebody their own age,
Yeah.
and really
Oh,
they're
okay,
talking to
sleepy girl.
somebody in their 40s or 50s who then is like, oh, I want to come and see you face to face, and then snatches them.
Right.
I mean, it can happen anywhere, but they say it happens a lot on Discord. And what kills me then is that the companies like Discord doesn't do anything about it. They
Right.
don't change their safety and things like that. Anyway, it's already 10:05, so we should probably get going. My kid also has chat with friends, so I'm also will be careful, especially children's don't know happen inside. We have to observe all the time. Yep.
Yes, keep a close eye.
My daughter used to get so mad because at bedtime it had gotten to the point where we had issues when she was younger. It didn't happen for very long, but you're not taking your phone in your room, and I would check over things at night.
Right.
But like I said, it didn't happen for very long, and then I was able to teach her how to, check for things herself for some of it.
Right.
So I told her you can't trust all the people out there.
No, you sure can't. Especially not me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, can't trust that Kaylin.
No, not at all. She's a weirdo.
Oh, Amby, before I forget, my daughter and son-in-law went on vacation a couple weeks ago, and guess where they went? They went to your city.
Oh.
They stayed in Tennessee the first night, and then they stayed in your actual city in Georgia, which I can't think of the name now for whatever reason, for the second night. They're thinking of possibly moving to Georgia. And they actually enjoyed it. Said that there was a lot there and that they had fun. When she said the name, yeah, when she said they went to Noonan, I was like, you went where?
Mm.
I know somebody from there.
And HD says they especially target friends of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or they may, yeah, or they like see two people who talk all the time and they can tell they're friends and they get to know one and then they'll learn about the other person through them and then they will go and you would think that they were going to try and like take the first person, but they take the second one
Yeah.
because it makes them harder to find. Yeah. Which is targeting friends of friends. But yeah, she said that there were a lot of vegan places to go to, which made her really happy. Personally, I kind of hope that they would pick Tennessee, but wherever they want to go is wherever they're going to go. So I've always wanted to move to Tennessee.
Well, just know, Alabama is really close to Georgia. So whenever you go to,
Yeah, Alabama's way too hot for me.
oh, I know it. Oh my gosh. Look,
That's the reason why I want to go to Tennessee instead of.
and I was complaining back in the end of April how hot it was then, and now it's, well,
But yes, I was like, ooh, if I go to see Emily, if they move to Noonan, I can see Amby and I can hopefully see Kaylin too.
yeah.
I was already thinking about it.
And the 2 hours that we've, almost 2 hours that we've been on, I've made 12 of the middles of my squares.
Wow.
And I already have four and two whole completed squares because I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to do all the centers and then, like in an assembly line or what.
Mhm.
So I made two whole squares. So I have two squares done and then four other of the centers done. So I actually have 16, 18, and I have 30 more to go.
What are you making with it?
A blanket.
Huh?
A blanket.
Your blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I need to feel better. I want to work on the baby blanket I started yesterday. I got to a round that was not working out and I was ready to throw it out the window. So, and
Amber
I
said,
couldn't figure out the math on it. And I finally figured out the math. And I was like, okay, I'm putting it down and I'll try it again tomorrow or the next day.
right. And she said, even when we don't know, sometimes real person Gmail got compromised. Yeah, exactly. And then Amy said she would be so happy when you go to visit. And then she wished she could crochet that fast. I honestly don't see myself crochet that fast. Everybody tells me,
You crochet so fast. You always have. I know you don't think that you do, but you do.
I know.
Same with Kathy. Kathy crochets fast.
HD said, nowadays I am inactive from crochet and knit. I have other works. Oh, well, I got me some material on sale, so I'm gonna attempt to make myself an apron to wear at work. Not like a cooking apron that covers,
Just the one that go skirt
yeah,
apron.
waist apron to put my book and pen in to write down orders whenever.
Cool. We had to make those in school when I went to school.
Yeah.
And that was the first 4-H project I made was an apron.
Well, we did home ec. I mean, not home ec. We did 4-H, but we didn't learn anything except for how to care for animals. We didn't learn the homesteading of, like crocheters and knitters and sewers, seamstress. There we go. Um, we learned about animals,
Yeah, we
but
so
now
we had
we did the full apron. That was our first project in home ec.
we did cooking. We had cooking, so we learned how to the basics of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had sewing. But the thing is that and it started like the year before we went to middle school I think they made it mandatory that all the males had to take the female home ec,
Uh-huh.
well, home ec, and then all the females had to take shop. So I also had some shop courses where I made wooden salt and pepper shakers.
And we made a birdhouse.
And then I had my best friend who was male. I had to help him with his bag because he was having a hard time making his bag for sewing class.
We made the
The
apron
bag.
grade year, and then the 10th grade year we made a tote bag. And then I don't know if we have to take it in the 11th grade year.
Kathy says I crochet fast but have too many wits to complete anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing for this toy. I'm just doing all different kinds of stitches wherever I feel like putting it. Usually I'm like, oh, I'm going to make it look like petals, or I'm going to do this. I started off with the shell, then I was like, no, I don't want that. And then I just started making all different. So it's going to be funky.
All right.
Cats don't care. As long as it has the catnip spray on it
Mm-hmm.
and they can bat it around, they're happy.
Yep. Well, I don't know if you're like me, but I need to get up and like visit the potty and all that stuff and move around.
Yeah, actually, I need to do that too, and I'm ready to go to bed, honestly. So thank you for being on here. Our next one, I know we set a date. I got to open up
The 16th, wasn't it?
I think so. I was just trying to open up my. Yes, July 16th, and it'll be on Kaylin's.
It'll be on mine.
So hope to see you all there. And
Yes.
thank you. I hope that you guys were as interested in all the AI stuff as we were. And there's more to come. So
Yes, a whole lot more.
love you guys, and we will see you next month.
Bye, y'all.
Night, night.